name is David Tennant. I'm playing Phileas Fogg.
I'm going to circumnavigate the globe in 80 days.
This whole journey is one of a literal sort of journey around the world, and also a sort of metaphorical one. We sometimes have to travel far from home to know what home is. And I suppose, if anything, that's what this story is about. I think everyone's familiar with Around the World in 80 Days, generally speaking. I mean, I'd never read the book, I realised when I came to this. But it's one of those stories, it's sort of in the popular culture, isn't it? Phileas Fogg is one of those names that you recognise, and Passepartout, I think they're in the sort of cultural memory of most people, I think. Passepartout and Fogg, they very much start out as master-servant in a very old-fashioned 19th century way. Well, don't just stand there, man. Go and pack my bags. But inevitably, as they go through all the ups and downs of this extraordinary journey, they reach the relationship becomes something else. Inevitably, they become, I think, fairly necessary to each other. Certainly Fogg couldn't manage without Passepartout. Passepartout could probably manage without Fogg.
Par là, this way.
Because Passepartout has a resourcefulness and a dash of courage and anarchy which Fogg lacks. The character of Fix is an addition by our wonderful scriptwriter, Ashley Farrell.
What on earth are you doing here?
I'm here to cover your progress for the Daily Telegraph.
What? No.
A very spunky young gal who, despite the fact that it's the late 19th century, is determined to become a journalist.
Absolutely not. That's out of the question.
And she becomes the third member of this team. But I think Fogg thinks she's rather marvellous, but at the same time he's rather scandalised by her too, because she's very much not playing by the masculine rules of the time.
I'm not talking to you, Miss Fix, as you are currently on the ferry sailing back to Dover. Why aren't we moving?
She's very front-footed, and she has all the courage and the daring-do that Fogg himself lacks. And without her, I think they wouldn't stand a chance. We started shooting on episode 3, by which time we're quite far into the journey already. They've been through Europe. They're now in lands the like of which Fogg has never dreamed of. You know, he's surrounded by camels and deserts and things which are so alien to him, and he doesn't naturally cope well with the unknown and the unfamiliar. I quite like filming out of order in that way. It allows you just sort of have to jump in. And because we were filming some quite involved kind of action sequences were some of the first things we did, some of the stuff, the sandstorm in the desert and the shootout in the desert, and you just sort of have to find that, you know, and the kind of physicality of it helps, I think. I suppose the most exciting times I've had travelling are when you're slightly out of your comfort zone, when you're experiencing the unknown slightly, and you're in worlds that feel very different to worlds that you know. Sometimes that's not always a pleasant experience, but I think it makes you a better person, a more accepting person, perhaps, a tolerant person, a slightly bolder person. I think and that's very much the process that Fogg goes through in the story.
Round the world, my friend. In 80 days.